Hi everyone, I'm Leah and welcome to Family Heritage Living. I wanted to do this video today concerning a comment that was left on a video that we did a few weeks ago. One reason it's taken me so long to do this video is because not only because of how busy we've been at this time of year, but also because of the way I wanted to handle the video. At first I just wanted to shrug it off, but I kind of felt more unction from the Lord to address it. And it wasn't necessarily addressing the viewer who wrote it, because they've got their opinions and that opinion is going to stay with them until they, until they want it to be changed, or until they turn to the Lord to say, hey Lord, where is my perspective supposed to be? My reason for doing this video is because I'm reminded by the comment how many women need encouragement to make the choice and to be encouraged in the choice they've made to be the keeper of the home. Now, please note, I've known a lot of women who are keepers of the home. Those are women that work as well as women that stay at home. This is not about whether you stay at home or whether you work away from the home. This is about where your heart is first. Is your heart first at home, or is your heart in your career and making a name for yourself? There is a difference. You can have a family and work, and your family can appear to be successful, but if your heart's not there primarily first for them, you're missing the mark. And you can be at home and still not have your family first and foremost as the first focus where your heart should be, and you've missed the mark. This is about two women that want to make that choice to make your home and your family the number one in your life, whether you have to juggle work or not, okay? And it's about this comment. I'm going to play this clip right here, why this viewer left this comment. Also, we decided, because of the many hats I wear around here, like any mother who homeschools, who has a business, who cooks, who cleans, who does the whole gamut of what God created a woman to do. Now, the funny thing that I found about this comment, I'm going to read it and then tell you what I find funny, is the first thing she zeroed in on. She says, God didn't create me just to cook and clean. What a pathetic, backward way of thinking. I pity your daughters, present or future. A woman can be anything she wants, a doctor, an astronaut, a fighter pilot. The list is endless. Shame on you. And that was in capital letters, exclamation mark. In that clip, you see the first thing I talked about doing, why I was so busy at that point in time, is, for like many women, schooling your children, running the family business, because my end of the business is to run the family business, and then cooking and cleaning. She zeroed in on the cooking and cleaning. That was very offensive to her. And I found it interesting. She bypassed the other two things. I am educating my children and developing their morals and values, because somebody's going to develop the morals and values in your children. And if it's not you, then you're leaving it to chance who does it. Okay? So when we educate our children, in a sense, we indoctrinate them with a core set of beliefs. Now, that's highly important in a society that kind of lets you feel like you can pick your right and wrongs. Okay? In a conservative Christian home, education, like number one for their foundation. Being my husband's helpmate. He needs me in the business right now. Okay? I am helping to sustain our family. And yeah, her focus was on when I said cooking and cleaning. Now, as a homemaker, as a keeper of the home, cooking and cleaning is just part of the, part of it. And the Bible speaks highly of it. I mean, we cook to nourish our family. We cook to fellowship. We cook as a form of ministry. And unless you are rich enough to have maids, then you're going to have dishes. That's just a no-brainer. I mean, unless you want to live in a pit or buy disposable dishes all the time, you're going to have dishes to wash. And the question that I have is, why such hatred towards that? And it's really a rhetorical question, because our society, with the Satan has targeted the family. I mean, the family was the first ordained institution of God. And when you have strong families, you have strong everything else. You have strong churches, you have strong countries. There's just strength. And when you destroy that family, you destroy the backbone of what God created. And that's what Satan's after. We know that. I mean, if you're a Christian, you know that. It's not a secret. So like I said, it was a rhetorical question. But the point is, if you are a woman and your family is at the center of your heart, you know what? You have nothing to be ashamed of. And that goes from the littlest chore that you have to do that is an act of love for that family to the biggest. I mean, your children do not have to win the homeschooling spelling bee of the nation in order to feel accomplished. You know, it's not about that. It's about doing what you're supposed to do every day as a woman of God who was created to be the helpmeet of man. I mean, that's the reality of it. You were ordained to mold your family. You're there to guide and direct. And what a phenomenal role to be able to fulfill. What higher calling could you have but to be forming the next generation? I mean, there is not a higher calling. I believe that God created that role with special interest for his daughters. I believe that fully. I did not understand what a privilege it was to be a woman until I had children. And I always had a desire to be a homemaker, but I really didn't get it until I was converted, you know. And once I was converted and I saw in the Word that is precious before the Lord, I was thrilled. But I spent most of my life as a married woman with children defending mine and Ron's decision for me to be primary there because the world hates us so much. Even it's gone into the church where it's kind of a shame in the church. The world just hates it. It does not want the homes to be strong. So I say to you ladies that are keeping your focus on your home above everything else you're juggling, more power to you. May God be with you. Do not be ashamed. Encourage the lady next to you. Encourage someone you know to make that their primary role. And by doing so, you are raising the next generation. You are giving a foundation of security for your family. And most importantly, you are filling your God-given role as a woman. And, you know, Colossians tells us that everything, and I'm paraphrasing here, everything we do as we're doing unto the Lord. So when it comes to doing those dishes, do those dishes unto God. Everything we do should be done unto the Lord. And if it's God created in our roles as keepers of the home, it's definitely God created. It is an ordained institution. Do it with pride. Let nobody tear you down. And know that you are making a difference in the world and the lives of your family. And people are watching. People are watching you to see, are you living it? So, everything else, you know what? The career, whatever, secondary. If you got to do it, you got to do it. But let that family be first and be proud of it. Because in the end, you will be doing the Father's work. And he will give you praise for that. I hope I haven't come across as belittling anybody. You know, I've lived both worlds where I didn't have to work and where I've had to work. My mother was a single mother. She had to work. All I know is your hearts need to be at home first. And then we fill the roles of everything else as we have to. That's just the way it works. Life requires what we have to do. But our hearts should always be turned towards home first, because that is where God has directed them. Again, hope no offense was intended. I just really want to encourage those that are might be struggling with this. Don't be ashamed. Encourage others. God bless.